Good afternoon. Thank you to GOED for this kind invitation. I wish to be there down in Barcelona, and hopefully we have some issues here in Peru that I had to attend, so we decided to make it through this video conference. And again, I'm very grateful to GOED for this opportunity. We want to share with you, and I really appreciate your presence here in this conference, about the industry of the anchovy in Peru. What is our sustainable fishing agenda that we are working on it? But first, I want to share with you some numbers. We want to share some numbers of the anchovy industry. For example, about the GDP, the fishing contributes to 1.2% of the GDP in the last 10 years in Peru, in an average of more than $2,000 million per year. We also generate lots of jobs. We generate 700,000 direct and indirect jobs. And we contribute for the reduction of poverty. You know that Peru, we have an average poverty of 21%, but if we really measure the poverty in the ports and in the coves, really this measurement is very low. We have only 1.25% of poor in our ports and coves. And our numbers in exports are very important. Fishing exports in general, we generate more than $500,000 million in the last 10 years, and it represents 7% of the total exports of Peru. If we see the anchovy industry also in numbers, we can see that we have 411 fishing companies, we have 12 large companies that have more than 6 or more boats, 98 medium companies that have 2 to 5 boats, and 301 small companies that have 1 boat. We have 20 companies of fish meal and fish oil, and 29 factories. But what is most important, more important than the numbers, is that Peru has traveled to the sustainability of the anchovy in the last years. And it is not only recognized by Peruvians. Important international organizations have recognized the sustainable management of the anchovy fishery in Peru, like the FAO, CEPAL, the World Bank, the OECD. And I want to read some of the quotes of these important organizations. FAO says that for the anchoveta fishery, the direct methods for evaluation are appropriate and scientifically sound based on years of development and review. The World Bank has established that with the assistance of this organization, the Peruvian government implemented a reform that has allowed anchoveta industrial fishing to be carried out in a more sustainable manner. And OECD and CEPAL established that in general, industrial fishing for indirect human consumption is very well regulated and controlled. And really this is explained because we have a very healthy biomass of anchovy. The biomass is very stable for the last 10 and 15 years. Really, we have an average of biomass of around 8 million. It is very important. And this is also explained because we have a very strong regulation. As you know, we have 2 stocks. We have the North Center stock and the South stock. We have 2 seasons per year. We have 2 research cruises. We have global quota for season and also tax per vessels. Also, this healthy biomass is explained because in Peru, there was issued a quota law around 2008, and also we have lots of precautionary measurements. With the quota law, the Olympic race was eliminated. In the past, vessels fished as much as they could without any individual quota. This affected the sustainability of the anchovy. With a quota system, each vessel fishes the same amount as it used to fish under the old system, but in a very planned way. It is very important also to say that only the 35% of catch is allowed. That really means that 65% remains in the sea for reproduction, and we have very strong regulations to protect juveniles. When juveniles are detected, we have to report immediately this to the ministry so that the ministry could, in a daily basis, decide which areas to be closed. According with IMARPE, that is our scientific institution and that is very well recognized, many juveniles in our ocean, in our sea, means that the reproductive process has been successful and the population is being renewed. Which are the captures of Peru? We can say that we have an average of 4.2 million captures, no? From 2010 to 2019. And also, we have our industrial fishing has several controls. As you can see in the chart, we have 8 controls. We have controls, inspections, when the vessels are going to really depart. We have an organization that is called the CAPI that really what they verify is the compliance with the marine safety laws. We have the sail permits. Also, the CAPI has to see if we are complying with the safety law for the vessels and the crew prior to departure. There are hygiene inspections. We have a satellite tracking system so that we could see that compliance with fishing season and ban zones are really taken into account. We have inspectors on board, detection of juveniles, fishing control system on off landing too. So really we can see the destination of the catch, and also mandatory daily reports by the license holders of fish meal plants. So at the end, 8 controls that really are verifying that we are really complying with the law. It is important to say that our fish meal and our fish oil are one of its species. Fish meal has a very balanced composition of essential amino acids and minerals. Our protein concentration is from 64 fat to 70, the premium percentage. That digestibility is above 95%, and that's why it is very well recognized around the world, and that's why we have a very good market. Also, our fish oil, we have a high content of omega-3, very low levels of linoleic acid. It's produced without additive, and crude and semi-refined oil is produced from feed and food. Our annual production of fish meal, sometimes we have productions, it depends on how much we catch really, and which is the quota, the annual quota that we are given. So in 2018, you can see that we produced more than 1,400 tons of fish meal. On 2019, it's around 800 tons. But still, we are the first fish meal producing country. No? Peru is the largest fish meal producer in the world. Also in the fish oil, we are the first producer also of fish meal in the world. And the fish meal and the fish oil represents 4.7% of Peru exports. Our main markets, as you know, China is our main market in fish oil and also in fish meal. In fish meal, our second market is Japan, also then Vietnam, Germany. Fish oil, our second market is Canada, then Denmark, and then Belgium. We want to share with you that our industry is also committed to the environmental care. This is very important for us. We have invested more than $500 million in environmental adequations. The 100% of our plants use a steam dryer. We also, the 100% of our plants have effluent control, trying to change our matrix to natural gas. We are trying to replace petroleum to natural gas in those areas where natural gas is available. Also, you can see the 49 factories that we have in Peru. Already they have the IFO-RS standard certification. And also we are working very hard so we can get the Anchovy certificate before 2021 under the MSC standard. We are currently working on a fishery improvement company. This is very important because we are working with the ministry, we are working with IMARPE, our scientific institution. We are working with NGOs and also with the private sector, so that we can really have a certification by 2021. We want the MSC standard certification, no? And why do we want this? We want to have this instrument to systematize, increase transparency, and disseminate information about the current situation and the ongoing improvements that we are doing in this market. For us, this is a very important project, and as I was saying before, really this, we encourage all the NGOs and the authorities really to work very hard on this. Also, we have sustainable programs of the fishing industry are very important. We are working on AproCompost. What we are doing is really making clear that circular economy in the fishing industry is possible. Really, what we do is to regulate the waste that comes from equipment, from cleaning, from tank bottoms and fish meal sweeping, and we produce this compost that really serve for agriculture and for the parks and the gardens of our communities. This was really important this year. It was recognized as finalist in a very important contest that is being held in Peru that's called Business Creativity 2019, and really was a recognition to all the fishing industry that we are caring about the society and also we are caring about the environment. Also, since 2017, we design and we implement a very important project called Salva Mares. That is the first initiative of a group of companies whose objective is to take care of the marine ecosystem and take advantage of sustainable resources. This program trains industrial fishermen to correctly identify and release birds, reptiles, and marine mammals throughout the Peruvian coast. A video so you really can see what this project is about. And finally, but not least important, we really want to share that we are the first guild that have worked on a sustainability report. We think that we have to make evident really what we do, really what we work on. That's why we decided to really work on this sustainability report under the GRI system or initiative. It was made in 2019. We present the sustainability report of the Peruvian fish meal and fish oil industry, becoming the only one in its category worldwide which integrates the indicators of the prestigious Global Reporting Initiative. Which issues we claim to report? Economic performance, care of marine biodiversity, effluent and emissions management, community relations, gender diversity, occupational health and safety, ethics, and anti-corruption policies. Our associates have been continually reporting their progress in sustainability in several forums as the Global Compact, the GRI, and Sustainable Development Goals. I think that it is not a secret for anybody that the fishing sector has been for many years an activity for men. Therefore, currently, the governing bodies have a mostly male composition. 84% of management positions are held by men, while only 60% are occupied by women. However, we think that we have made important progress. More women are taking high positions in the main company of the sectors. Well, there's a female president of the guild, that's me. We have 2 general managers, Austral and ExxonMar. We have 1 commercial manager, Diamante, that's female, and also a financial manager that is also female in Hajduk. So we are working on that, and our compromise is that really our fishing sector incorporates more women. We also have very good, examples of good practices in occupational health and safety. Our companies have implemented different initiatives to prevent accidents in plants and work areas, as well as a focus on risk prevention and a correct development of actions and controls that are aimed at the integral protection of employees with appropriate standards in the company's security policy. Some examples are the Occupational Health and Safety Committees, preventive controls before the start of the day, and an internal safety program with employees. Our relationship with communities are most than important. That's why we have very strong social responsibility policies, not only in our guild and in our companies, but also in what we call the APROs, that are our social and decentralized arm of the guild, to really approach a better relationship with our communities. We prioritize health, education, capacity development, and environmental programs with our communities. For example, we nowadays have launched a very important program for our communities that is called Armada de Hierro, because we want to really help the government and our local governments to really reduce anemia in the children that live in our communities. We are working very hard on that in Peru. I don't know if you know, of 10 children, 4 have anemia. So really is a health issue in Peru, and our guild and our companies have a very strong compromise to really work to reduce anemia in our children. I have wished to be there in Barcelona to meet all of you, to attend all your questions, and hopefully that was not possible, and that's why I really appreciate your time and the opportunity that you have given me to really show you an overview of our fishing sector, the things that we are doing, how is our biomass in Peru, all the good practices that we are implementing here in Peru. And well, we invite you sometime here in Peru so you can see how we are working in the fishing sector. So you are most welcome. So thank you very much.